so many people out there that say games don't matter, games don't matter. Florida State, here are the facts. 13-0, Power 5 champion, third string quarterback. Key players and injuries factors in to the College Football Playoff Committee protocol. And there's no one with a set of eyes, no one with a set of eyeballs that could have watched yesterday's ACC championship and yesterday's SEC championship and said that Florida State was the better team than Alabama. There's just no one that could have done it. And I know people are saying, well, then the games don't matter. Well, they do, because Alabama beat the number one team in the country. Florida State barely got by a couple of teams with third string quarterback. I don't know. There's going to be a lot of angst out there today, Paul, but I just don't know that you can debate this. I don't think there's any debate.
Well, no, you really can if you're reasonable. I mean, Matt, some of the lines I've heard today issued by your colleagues up there at ESPN are I mean, they do want to make your head explode. What about the other 99 players on the team? Well, what about the other 99 players on Alabama's team that just knocked off Georgia? I mean, all these things are great, but I'm glad this committee didn't buy it, and I didn't think they would as midnight struck last night, because Florida State and Louisville was a painful game to watch, as opposed to where I was yesterday, watching two heavyweights. I mean, it was like going back to the 70s, watching Allie and Frazier, and then the winner of that meets some boxing gym in Queens, and okay, you get. I mean, it's absurd, and I'm I think what it comes down to, Matt. I mean, there are a lot of people that really do hate the SEC, and that's fine. I mean, I get it. I live in that league, and people think all we do is propagandize, but we don't. I mean, just go through the last 20 years of college football. I don't think you need propaganda to prop that league up.
The playoff committee, let's call it what it is. The SEC is very arrogant about their success, and they should be. Sure. Greg Sankey is very confident publicly about his conference, and he should be. And if there were a year where the committee could have kind of just given you a stick it to the SEC, this was the year, because they could have easily put in Florida State and said, you know what? Power 5 undefeated champion. They've never been left out. We're not going to start doing that now. Hey, and you know what? Texas beat Alabama. There's our top 4. See you guys later. It's been a good run. They could have stuck it to the SEC if they wanted to, and they did. They did their job and kind of looked at it and said, hey, you know what? I get it. We could probably do this and piss off the most powerful conference in the country, but we can't. Alabama's got to be in because they're one of the 4 best teams in the country.
Really, Matt, we're doing this in real time, but when you think about the most ridiculous thing that we've heard today, is that Georgia's the number 6 team in the country. I mean, that is beyond comprehension. And I mean, they lost a narrow game to Alabama, but that's okay. I mean, everybody's had their say. I'm just glad that as Sunday turns to Monday, we don't have to hear any more talking points, because I mean, I'm sick of it. Yeah. I mean, what you said is interesting a minute ago about the SEC. Sometimes when you're as close to the sun as I am, I mean, I work at the SEC Network headquarters. You can be blinded by the light a little bit, but just because you're good doesn't mean you should turn people off into wanting to see that school. And I think that was a lot of it. And I think what also is fascinating, and there's 3.5 weeks to talk about it, but here we have the biggest name in the sport, the greatest coach of all time, taking on one of the most controversial teams and one of the most controversial coaches of all time in the Rose Bowl of all places on New Year's Day.
Give me something